What is up, diecast collectors? This is 9446 Network, back with another diecast review, and we are back in the 9446 Network. Now that the summer swing is over, it is time to get into the month of September, and guess what, folks? I guess you can call this a birthday special, because I just turned 17 years old on the 8th of September here, so very special for a lot of reasons too. And you guys, well, why wouldn't you review your favorite driver on your birthday or during your birthday weekend? Well, guess what, folks? There is one more 2021 car that I plan on reviewing, and of course, it's of a driver that I like. So I say that's good enough, I guess you could say. And it's a race version, so we usually don't look at a lot of race versions on this channel. Other than the Kyle Busch 5-pack, and maybe a Chase Elliott one down the road. I'm going to pick one because there's several of them. But today we're going to be looking at the Bubba Wallace 2021 Talladega raced version. And I'm pretty sure this race was called the Yellowwood 400 or something like that. I don't know. But, you know, this car was never made in the clean version, and that's a shame because I really like this paint scheme, but thankfully, because this car stayed out of trouble for the most part in this race, I think you got yourselves a pretty good standard Bubba Wallace paint scheme. But of course, this is the race version of the Talladega rainout that he won the race. It was a rainout win, but of course, a win is a win in the stat books. And of course, it's for the one and only Bubba Wallace. One of 3 or 4 of my favorite drivers. I have multiple drivers that I root for, and what I can tell you is Bubba Wallace is certainly one of them. As I'm getting this one out of the box. Yeah, I think the guy's a good driver. Now, it was a rainout win, but to be honest with you, guess what? Chase Elliott, and I'm saying this as a Chase Elliott fan. I probably shouldn't say this, but you know what? His win was, you could argue, was also given to him. And this is coming from a Chase Elliott fan. And I'm bringing that up. And of course, you know, Bubba Wallace, I really like this guy. And, you know, to have a race win, finally he won a race, and to have a race win of a car of his is absolutely spectacular. That's just a sign of how far this guy's come, even to get a win. I mean, to get a win at all in the Cup Series is hard. But, you know, this car, I'm loving the look of this car. Just looking at it, I haven't even started the review yet, and I'm already getting solid vibes looking at this car, because this is an absolutely amazing looking paint scheme, and the race version, you can see a couple scuffs here. Now, I'm not sure if that little red nick mark is supposed to be there, but regardless, that's on the car, so that's just spectacular. Right in the 23, just went boom. Okay, but it is what it is there. You got number 23, Toyota Camry, 2311. And it actually, the wrap of the Camry actually looks better than a lot of the other ones. I don't know why that is, but it does look better than a lot of my other Camrys. I don't know if it's just because of the photo they took of it, or the photo they shot of this car. But it does look better regardless, to me at least. You got the little grill opening right there, which we will look at all the race version detail. We will look at that. I just want to get the sponsors and the paint scheme out of the way first because of how clean this car is. I wouldn't be spending that much time on the race wear because there's not a lot of it. You got Bubba Wallace, Toyota, and you got the McDonald's, nicely lined up looking logo. And it does have some tire wear on it, which, like I said, we will revisit that. Sunoco, Goodyear, NASCAR Cup Series, NASCAR race car, and oh, yeah, I guess you could say this is not too clean. You got a couple scratches on the side from the race, of course. That is from the race. When you're at Talladega and Daytona, you're going to make contact. You're pretty much, these guys are drilling each other on all sides, so you're definitely going to have some scratch marks like that. Got number 23, Bubba Wallace, Toyota Mobile 1, Mac Tools in 2311. You got McDonald's, DoorDash, Dr. Pepper, and of course you have the little exhaust opening right there. Little hamburger, I guess you could say, Big Mac. McDonald's, Columbia, and Root Insurance right there. I love how they kind of just chose one color for that and didn't just clash the colors. Like the blue from Columbia on top of the yellow would look kind of weird, and the orange of Root Insurance. So I'm really glad they just went with a black letter, black letters. So let's say you got the rear view camera, Toyota Camry XSE, the final XSE Camry before we get to the TRD, which is the next gen. Extra Special Edition is what that XSE stands for. You got McDonald's, and you have the little M logo for McDonald's, number 23, the Toyota logo. Pretty cool that they're having the rear view cameras on the 164s. Even on the clean versions, they have those. My rewards on the deck lid looks very, very sharp, and it looks like there's some gradients colors to that rewards letter. So right on top of the font, they colored it in that. Now that looks very, very nice. Though that'd be something cool to do on my own, of course, on a custom. Yeah, McDonald's, and that McDonald's logo looks a little bit slanted, and you guys could probably tell. I don't know if that's a Lionel thing, or if that's actually how the car was, but I highly doubt it. Bubba Wallace's name. Now the paint scheme. Oh yeah, one big thing. This car being on a base, I don't have an answer for it. I'm quite surprised and taken aback by this. What about McDonald's? I don't see any other alcoholic thing on this car. Why is McDonald's on a base? I don't know how I didn't bring that up in the beginning of the video. Because on the box, I don't think anywhere on this box does it say adult collectible. I really highly doubt it. Does it? No, it usually says it here, but it says ages 4 and up. All the other Bubba Wallace cars, or at least the McDonald's ones at least. The Kevin Harvick I understand. You know, A-Shock I kind of understand. But McDonald's? Why is McDonald's on a base? Oh my god. Oh no, is the next gen car gonna have the base on the McDonald's car? I'm kind of afraid of that, because I kind of saw a screenshot of a Bubba Wallace McDonald's car released, and the car wasn't like, you know, when the Gold Series, the cars are kind of slanted like this inside of the box, but when they're straight up like this, like, you know, they're not... Here, alright, look. You see how the other, normal cars have, they're kind of slanted? They're not, straight. If a car is up like this, straight, and it looks like there's a plastic thing under it, that probably means there's a base on it. Which is, I don't understand why McDonald's, out of all sponsors, this is kind of like when Matt Kenseth's Tide Pods car was on a base. Now with that I understood, but McDonald's on a base? Yeah, that's definitely a shock to me. Maybe there is something that, because look, I haven't went to McDonald's in 3 or 4 years, so I have no idea what changes they made to where now you have McDonald's cars on a base. So yeah, a bit surprising. Car is spray painted red, and of course that red you can see where it's at. So you can see it starts a little bit over. You know what? I should just start with one color first. You got the black splitter and the black spoiler. And now, of course, you can see the raced version stuff. So you see the grille, and it has some tape on it, which you can no longer do on the next generation. So these last couple of race version Gen 6 cars might be a bit bittersweet, because, you know, it was kind of cool to see the tape arrangements from each race team. So that's going to be gone. For better or for worse. And of course, the paint scheme itself, it has the outlines around the fake air vents. You can see right there, kind of outlines it, and a bit of the yellow. So basically, it's like seeds. You know those breads? They have seeds, the type of bread they used to make the burgers and stuff. They just made it yellow, and they have a little bit of outlines to that as well, next to the grill. And you can see that pattern going across the entire side. And of course, you got detailed side skirts. And of course, basically what this whole red component of the car that wraps over the roof and a bit of the sides of the front quarters, all the way up to the roof and over the next to the roof rails. Basically, this is a little fry container. So you know those things you get at McDonald's, where it has fries in it, and it has it's like a round shaped little container that has fries in it. They basically tried to incorporate that onto the car, and you could see very much, obviously, that's what they were trying to do when you look at these sides. You can see fries poking out right there. Looks very cool. I actually like that. That's something I do like, that the whole front of it is modeled after a little fry container. You can see on the roof the fries stick out up into the 23. Now that looks wicked. It goes very well with the yellow outline of that number. And the numbers, got a yellow outline, a white outline, and a black number fill-in. Very, very clean, nice-looking font on the 23. I gotta say, that little nick mark on the 23 is starting to bug me a little bit, so you gotta move on from that a little. Detailed side skirts, of course. We're gonna look at the race damage after the paint scheme, obviously. But you can see that yellow portion, it kind of wraps around the front a little bit, and then it across the side skirts, and then up around the 23, or the 3 and 23, and just cleanly goes across the side, leaves a lot of that negative white space for that McDonald's logo right there. Very, very cool. I love that. I love how that paint scheme looks. Like, it's super good. Like, just the seeds of that white, just like, it looks like a burger. So they kind of made it like a foodie type car. I don't know other word to say it there. But that's what it is. That's McDonald's for you. Get biofuel, of course. This is gonna be a new thing. You know, the biofuel, it's not just gonna say American ethanol anymore. But yeah, nice side pattern. And of course, it wraps all the way to the back end of the car. And it just, oh man, that looks clean. This looks so clean. Now I would love it if the 164s had that sticking out bumper that the Gen 6 used to have when we went to super speedways. The back bumper went all the way down. The diecast all kind of looked like these speedway / short track style bumpers. But man, I can imagine how awesome. Like, you could see all the seeds going down into the long bumper. That would have been awesome. And of course, no big spoiler on this one because they're using the 2017 Camry. They haven't changed this Camry. I don't think they ever will. But, you know, the real life car had a bigger spoiler than this. But obviously, you know, for the diecast, they can't do that. But, you know, the race detail there is going to be there at least. And of course, the spoiler is black. Would have been cool if they made a giant yellow spoiler to go along with the bread pattern with the seeds. Just continue all the way up to the spoiler. But that probably would have been a lot of design. I don't know if NASCAR would approve of it. I would imagine they would because of how awesome it would look. And that's for the paint scheme. Now it's time to go over the race detail. So the front of it, like I said, you had the grill tape. And now we're going to get into the tire wear stuff. Now, if I get close to it, I believe there would be water damage. Or, not water damage. Like, just water residue, like, decaled onto the car along with the tire wear. Because rain kind of washes out some of the race wear. I know the Chase Elliott was a rain out win, too. But, you know, that car still had some tire wear on it. But this one, you can see, if you zoom in on the McDonald's logo, there's going to be tire wear on it as well. You can see, like, the tire buildup. The hood pins, those 4 black little lines, those are the hood pins keeping it closed. Just a little bit of tape there. And of course, let me get a closer look, because it also looks like it has some Speedy Dry. And you can kind of tell, like, around the headlights, that is not decal fuzz. That is Speedy Dry on the front of this car. So very, very cool. I love how the Speedy Dry just brightens everything. You can tell that it's been raced. It's definitely been driven. It makes it look different than a normal diecast without race wear stuff. Splitter looks to be clean. Let me see if I can get a look at that. Looks to be a normal splitter underneath. Now the top of it is definitely going to have some type of wear, and of course it does. You can see just across. You just zoom in, you can see all the detail across the nose right there. And we're going to go to this side first. Of course, both sides are going to be different due to the race detail being different. You got, of course, the side skirts with the little nuts and bolts keeping it together. They got the jack lines, and they were to lift him on pit road. And even on the side, you could even see all the tire wear build up across it. You got that scratch from earlier that I brought up. Got some more ding marks. This car did not do a burnout. I'm pretty sure it didn't. There's no way this car did a burnout. I think they just brought it down pit road and then called it a day. But regardless, you do have a bit of a tire rub right there. Right next to the wheel well right there, or right on it, I should say. Very subtle. I'd say the most, like, scarring race details would be, like, the scratches. Other than that, the car was taken care of, looks like. Now, there's not molded out damage, so this car might have dents in places that I won't be able to point out due to it being a 2-dimensional decal for the damage. And, of course, the back of it, you could tell the Toyota logo is a little wavy. I don't know if that's a Lionel thing, or is it because when you're pushing at super speedways, it's going to dent the bumper in a little bit, scar it up a little. But, yeah, these cars do get dinged in these plate races. Crazy to think that they touch each other at those speeds, but they do. And they keep doing it, regardless of how dangerous it is. And let me see the deck lid. Oh, wow, there's actually a bit of tire wear on that as well. There's actually tire buildup across the whole car. Because you're, like, behind cars and you're getting in front of cars. Now, here, there's definitely some. Look at that tire, that buildup. There's probably going to be some more, another scratch mark. Wow, almost in the same place as the other side, except this side was a lot more darker and more intense than the other side. This is, like, way less. But, you know, regardless, it's there. Let's see this side. Yeah, because, God forbid you have a white car, guys, for race versions. You're definitely going to notice, or any bright color is definitely going to make the tire buildup show a lot easier, especially on like bright colored, because this car has yellow and white as a part of the red paint scheme. It's got yellow and white. So the white parts of the car, you're going to see that race version detail a lot better. And the yellow too. Now the red, you'd probably have to zoom in a little. Now, there's that opening in the hood right there. Man, I wish I had the terminology for that. But that's when the car's overheating, the water and smoke just splashed out of there. That's a detail that's on this car. And yeah, the car does look like it's been wet. Now, sometimes it's because Lionel sometimes gets residues on these cars. God knows. Like I said, I'd hate to think of the factories these things come out of. But yeah, the car has been rained on a little bit. Now, you can see a little bit, like I said, I'm not sure if these, like, you guys can see what I'm saying, right? That residue looking stuff. Now, that scratch on the window there, it definitely looks like it's not supposed to be there. Now, these windows, they don't do custom windows for race versions. I definitely know that's a scratch. I guess that happened when they were putting it together and riveting everything. Got the hood opening there. Just a subtly done race version because he didn't hit a lot of things. Oh, yeah, the roof hatch. How did I not bring that up? Super Speedway cars have them. And some of the clean versions have this detail. I remember Chase Elliott's Team Rubicon, Austin Cindric's Verizon 33 car, and a couple others have had this roof hatch detail. So if your car has one of these on it, it's more than likely a paint scheme that ran out of Super Speedway, which is cool. Lionel's trying to get at least some more detail on these cars that not all of them have. But this race version certainly was going to have it because of the photography. Would have been awesome to see confetti on it. But, of course, some people don't like the confetti because for clean cars like this, it might mess up their stop motion, which is understandable, you know. I don't know what color Talladega would give this. Probably, like, it was the yellow with that sponsored or some other sponsor. Like, black and yellow, probably. Or just a red, white, and blue. Generic, of course. But, you know, this car, it's definitely a car you can pick up if you're a Bubba Wallace fan. Even if you're, like, collecting race versions, you're an NASCAR, pick it up. It's an iconic win. And I'm really excited. It's mainly iconic for the fact that it's Bubba's first career win. And it no matter how you get a win, guys, it's a win. Let's be honest. Everyone gets a race win. Heck, Joe Logano's first win was a rain out. And for some reason, people are like, oh, Bubba Wallace didn't deserve this win. You know, he didn't race for it. Meanwhile, you've had other drivers, including Chase Elliott, that have won races as a rain out. But you still get these awesome race version diecast. So, yeah, guys, this is an absolutely fantastic paint scheme. And, yeah, they did change it for the next gen. You know, McDonald's is always finding ways to change their paint schemes. I'm going to give you guys a 360 view of this car. Yeah, they're very innovative. I'll give it that. I definitely know the 2019 Baconator car, or Team Bacon, or whatever that car was called. That one was a unique paint scheme. So McDonald's is always innovating with their stuff. Sometimes people like it, some people don't, but it's a matter of what your opinions are. And speaking of those opinions, what do you guys think of this, guys? Do you love this car? Do you not like it? Let us know in the comment section down below if the YouTube algorithm doesn't get messed up again. I know the last video allowed people to put comments, so hopefully you guys can do that this time around. But yeah, this car, you know, one more thing. Red rims on this car, or yellow. Probably red because it goes with the base paint of the car. This car, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be made in Authentics because of the McDonald's sponsorship. I cannot believe I'm saying that. How in the world is McDonald's warranting the use of a base? Like, really? Come on now. So yeah, this car, I really don't think it's going to be in Authentics anymore. I don't know why they decided to do things this way. Because this car would have been a really popular release in the Authentics. You could have had the cute little card that has all the details. And you can have this car, and that thing would have been fantastic for Bubba's first win. And because I'm collecting for Bubba Wallace as well, that I'm particularly looking at this guy's paint schemes, that would have been nice to have. But we're stuck with this, the Gold Series, with just the generic box. and the base on the car. But what do you guys think of this one? I know, long review, massive. I hope this thing gets up as soon as possible so I can start filming the next gen videos. So thank you guys for checking this one out. Comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next diecast review. And go Bubba Wallace. I hope he wins Kansas this weekend because I really think he is. You know, that 45 is... Anyways, guys, thank you guys for checking this one out. Comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next diecast review. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecasts.